Bizarre Brain Comics. Hello, my comic book friends, and welcome to Bizarre Brain Comics. I'm Gary, your host, and this is where I like to take a look at some older comics, talk a little bit about the characters and creators, and examine the stories and the art. This time we're going to have a little look at Red Sonja. I'm going to show you them, not all, but this is most of the Red Sonja trade paperbacks that I've got. I got a couple others that have gone adrift, and but here. Now, surely most of you out there are at least aware of Red Sonja. There we go. The she-devil with a sword. Okay, yeah. Red Sonja is a fictitious sword and sorcery comic book character created by Roy Thomas and Barry Smith in for Marvel Comics in 1973. And she is inspired by Red Sonja of Rogatino from a story by Robert E. Howard, Shadow of the Vulture. And she first made her appearance in Conan the Barbarian number 23 in 1973. But the original in the story Shadow of the Vulture took place in the 16th century, and Roy Thomas adapted that story to a Conan story, and kept the Sonja character, but changed the Y to a J in her name, and she went from being a Russian to a Hyrcanian. And she appeared in Marvel Comics until 1986, and then again briefly in 1995. Then Dynamite Entertainment picked up the rights in 2005 and has published her comics ever since. And she is known specifically for her scale mail bikini armor, and most closely associated with artist Frank Thorne. Okay, and of course this is a cover by Frank Thorne. Now, what I have here, and I'm going to show first off, are The Adventures of Red Sonja, volumes 1, 2, and 3, and then a couple others after that. And these are books that are printed by Dynamite, reprinting the Marvel era, and I have here the entirety of the Frank Thorne run plus a little more, because Frank Thorne is, in my opinion, the best Red Sonja artist. I mean, as far as the character is concerned. And of course, she did not have, when she first appeared, drawn by Barry Windsor Smith. I know Barry Smith. She was just had a pair of shorts and a chainmail shirt, and then she made because she was in that two-part adaptation of that story, Shadow of the Vulture, and then she popped up again in a later story. Then Marvel gave her solo stories, starting in what was it? Marvel. Oh crap! I can't. It'll tell me in here. Marvel feature. That's it. Marvel feature, and her first solo story. This is her first solo story, which was, of course, written by Roy Thomas, but drawn by Esteban Morato, with Neil Adams and Ernie Chan doing inks, and as you see, some really beautiful stuff. Now, Esteban Morato is better known for his work at Warren, but he did do some other stuff, and some beautiful artwork. And then the second story, which I think was in the same issue, is drawn by still written by Roy Thomas, and drawn by Dick Giordano. It's beautifully drawn by Dick Giordano, but of course, he is better known for his DC work, primarily on Batman, Wonder Woman, etc., and all the others. But then after that, that's when Blood of the Hunter, when it was written by Bruce Jones, Frank Thorne took over. And this is what, even though Frank Thorne was already known as an accomplished artist and known as a good girl artist, even though a lot of his earlier work was at Gold Key, like he did the Mighty Samson, and of course they had to tone things down, and then he did stuff at DC, Tomahawk, and Hawk, Son of Tomahawk, and he did a couple of, I think the first 2 issues of the DC version of Korok, Son of Tarzan. I think it was just 2 issues. And that's where I really discovered him, on Korok, and I just loved his work. Of course, then he popped up over here, and of course he's done other stuff in between. And then after he left Sonja, because that really shot him to prominence in doing Red Sonja, and really it's where he really got known as a good girl artist. And he created his own, he's while still doing some occasional mainstream stuff, he created his own stuff largely for an adult audience, and Red Sonja was an inspiration for his own character, Gita of, I've forgotten the name of the city, Gita, who is his own warrior woman, similar to Sonja. And then he did a series of fantasy and science fiction and other stuff like that for adult publications. And a lot of his stuff was then later published by Eros Comics, or reprinted. So you see, he's some beautiful stuff here. The Bear God, and you can see just how incredibly adept he was, not just at the female form, but the visual storytelling, the action, the dynamism. And he usually did his own lettering, and he had some interesting page layouts and designed panel designs here. And fortunately, in this first volume, right at the end, Conan shows up. Now, I am surprised that they were able to print that. They must have had some rights agreements going on to be able to reprint Conan the Barbarian, because of course at this time Dark Horse, not Dark Horse, was it Dark Horse? I think it was Dark Horse had the rights to Conan the Barbarian, and of course they're just reprinting, but still you got, so in this one here, and then in the back they've got cover. Yeah, Marvel feature, some covers. And I notice here that in this and in some of the other covers, it's drawn by Frank Thorne, but Sonja's face does not look like a Frank Thorne face. And it looks like John Romita went back in and redid her face, maybe to make her look just a bit more lovely. I don't know. So this is volume 1, and here is volume 2. Again, Frank Thorne cover, and again it looks like a John Romita touch-up face. I would think John Romita. That's what it looks like to me, and it's just like this is all Frank Thorne interior stories. And then here in volume 3 we get the last 1 or 2 issues of. See, here's no Romita touch-up face. It's a great Thorne cover, and but as the last 1 or 2 issues of Frank Thorne's Red Sonja, And then it is taken over primarily by John Buscema as the penciler. And that's the last of these reprints that I've got from DC. I've got several. I still have several of the floppies. At one time, I had almost this entire run here, and but I think I had to get rid of some for space. And so that's volume 3. Then we get to the Dynamite books. This is volume 2, called Aerosmith, Red Sonja, She-Devil with a Sword. Just reprinting the regular comics. Again, some beautiful artwork, and but it's just not as beautiful as it is. It's just not Frank Thorne, and the whole thing is very well done. I love this cover. She's just reclining on a bunch of bodies as if it were a recliner, and again in the back reprinting some of the great covers. Then we have Red Sonja versus Thulsa Doom, and I don't know who the artists are, but again, some real nice stuff. And of course, it's funny because she's still placed in the Hyborian age, and then but even though she can't meet up with Conan anymore. And then Queen Sonja volume 2, the Red Queen. So and these I haven't finished reading, so I don't know what goes on here. And this is just volume 2, so there's at least 2 volumes of the Red Queen storyline. And then Dynamite has expanded it, her doing some crossovers with several others, primarily Vampirella, and because they also have Vampirella on their team, but she's crossed over to others. I've got Red Sonja teaming up with Claw from DC Comics, their fantasy character of theirs, and teaming up Marvel with Red Sonja and Spider-Man. But the interesting thing with that is, see, when Marvel had Red Sonja, they did a team up with Red Sonja and Spider-Man. And then when Dynamite had the crossover, that was a sequel to that story. And then the trade paperback, they have both the new story and reprint the original story. And I don't know where I've got that stuff. But I do have the original one somewhere. And then they also have Red Sonja and Vampirella teaming up with Betty and Veronica at Archie. And I want to get that one. That just sounds fun. I saw a review of that. So that is basically all that I've got for you this time, talking about Red Sonja. So thank you for joining me. Please like, share, and subscribe. Let me know what you think of Red Sonja. Who is your favorite Red Sonja creators? Do you like the Barry Smith, the Frank Thorne, etc., the Dynamite, or the Marvel? Personally, I am more of a Marvel type on Red Sonja. And let me know what you think. And don't forget that there's also that very disappointing 1985 movie, but still has its good points. It's still fun to watch. And let me know what you think of Red Sonja in the comments below. And remember, comics are art.